Have you ever wondered how the early life of Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most influential Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, unfolded? Our story begins in the heart of the Roman Empire on the 26th of April 121 AD, with the birth of Marcus Aurelius. Born into the lap of luxury and power, Marcus's pedigree was undeniably noble. His father, Marcus Annius Verus III, was a prominent Roman patrician, while his mother, Domitia Lucilla, was a wealthy heiress. Unfortunately, the course of Marcus's life took a sharp turn early on. His father passed away when he was just a few years old, leaving young Marcus in the care of his mother and grandfather. This early loss, while tragic, served to shape the character of the future emperor in profound ways. It was in these formative years that Marcus was introduced to the values of Stoicism, resilience, and responsibility by his mother and grandfather, values that would later become cornerstones of his reign and philosophy. His mother, Domitia Lucilla, was a woman of strength and wisdom. Despite the sudden loss of her husband, she took it upon herself to raise Marcus with a strong moral compass and a deep sense of duty. Marcus's grandfather, on the other hand, was a man of honor, having served as a respected consul in Rome. He played a significant role in shaping Marcus's understanding of governance and leadership. Marcus's upbringing was not ordinary in any sense of the word. He was raised in an environment of wealth and power, yet his life was marked by personal loss and responsibility from a young age. His mother and grandfather instilled in him the principles of Stoicism, resilience, and duty, setting the stage for his future as one of the most respected emperors in Roman history. Having lost his father at a tender age, Marcus Aurelius was destined for a life far from ordinary, shaped by the strong women and men around him. This is just the beginning of Marcus Aurelius's fascinating journey from a young boy in Rome to the revered philosopher king. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the life and times of this remarkable figure in our next scene. Can you imagine a child being tutored by Rome's finest minds? This was the reality for Marcus Aurelius. At a tender age, Marcus Aurelius was introduced to the world of philosophy. He was not just reading books or attending lectures, but learning directly from some of the most respected thinkers of his time. This was a privilege, no doubt, but it was also a responsibility. After all, the future of the Roman Empire was being shaped in the mind of this young boy. One of the most influential figures in his intellectual development was Apollonius of Chalcedon, a renowned Stoic philosopher. Apollonius introduced the young Marcus to Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasizes self-control, virtue, and acceptance of one's fate. The teachings of Apollonius were not just theoretical, they were a guide to living a good and fulfilling life, even in the face of adversity. This was a lesson that would serve Marcus well in his future role as an emperor. Another significant mentor was Marcus Cornelius Fronto, a brilliant rhetorician. Fronto taught Marcus the art of eloquence, a skill that would be vital in his future role as a leader. But more than that, Fronto encouraged Marcus to question, to think critically, and to seek truth. This was not just about learning to speak well, but about learning to think well. These early lessons in philosophy and rhetoric were not just about preparing Marcus for his future role as an emperor, they were about shaping his character, his values, and his worldview. They were about instilling in him the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, the four cardinal virtues of Stoicism. In the end, Marcus's education was about more than just accumulating knowledge. It was about learning to live a life of virtue. It was about learning to face adversity with courage and equanimity. It was about learning to lead not just with power, but with wisdom and justice. The seeds of a profound philosophical mind were sown early in Marcus Aurelius, setting the stage for his future as a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor. But how did Marcus Aurelius, a young Roman noble, ascend to the throne of the Roman Empire, you may ask? The answer lies in the unusual circumstances surrounding his adoption by Emperor Antoninus Pius. In the year 138, Emperor Hadrian was nearing the end of his life and had no biological heir. This led to an unexpected decision that would alter the course of Marcus Aurelius's life forever. Hadrian, known for his keen insight and strategic thinking, chose Antoninus Pius as his successor. But there was a condition attached. Antoninus Pius was to adopt Marcus Aurelius, then only a 17-year-old boy, and groom him for future leadership. Now, why Marcus Aurelius? The young noble had already shown promise of intelligence and virtue, traits that Hadrian saw as essential for a future emperor. Thus, Marcus Aurelius was adopted into a destiny of power and responsibility. This adoption was not just a simple change of guardianship, it was a meticulously planned succession strategy by Emperor Hadrian, ensuring that the Roman Empire would remain stable under the guidance of a capable and virtuous leader. From that point forward, Marcus Aurelius's life underwent a radical shift. He was no longer just a young noble studying philosophy. He was now being groomed to become the Emperor of Rome. His days were filled with lessons on governance, law, military strategy, and diplomacy, all while continuing his philosophical studies. This unique situation of being prepared for the role of emperor from a young age undoubtedly had profound implications on his future, shaping his worldview, values, and leadership style. The adoption by Antoninus Pius catapulted Marcus Aurelius into a destiny of power and responsibility, shaping the young philosopher into a future Roman emperor. His journey from a young noble to a philosopher king was not by chance but by design, a design orchestrated by the strategic mind of Emperor Hadrian and carried out by Antoninus Pius. So how did Marcus Aurelius's early life and education shape the ruler he would become? Born into nobility, young Marcus Aurelius was shaped by his lineage and heritage, yet his upbringing was far from ordinary. His early education instilled in him the principles of Stoicism, a philosophy that champions virtue as the highest form of happiness. This education, alongside his noble birth, laid the foundation for the leader he would become. Marcus's noble birth provided him with a unique perspective on power and responsibility. Surrounded by influential figures, he was exposed to the intricacies of leadership and governance from an early age. This exposure, coupled with his natural inclination towards introspection and contemplation, allowed him to cultivate a deep understanding of the human condition. His Stoic education, on the other hand, equipped him with a philosophical framework to navigate the complexities of his future role as Roman emperor. Stoicism taught him to maintain equanimity in the face of adversity, to exercise self-control, and to value reason above all. These principles guided him throughout his life, shaping his decisions, actions, and reactions as a ruler. But perhaps the most significant event that set the stage for his reign was his adoption by Antoninus Pius. This adoption not only positioned him as the heir to the throne, but also exposed him to the realities of ruling an empire. It was under the tutelage of Antoninus that Marcus honed his leadership skills, learning to balance power with humility and justice with compassion. Throughout his life and reign, Marcus Aurelius remained dedicated to the principles of Stoicism. His writings, now known as the Meditations, provide a unique insight into his philosophical mind, revealing a ruler deeply committed to virtue and wisdom. In Marcus Aurelius, we see the rare blend of a philosopher and a king, a testament to the profound influence of his early life and education on his character and rule. Imagine a time when Rome was ruled not by one but two emperors. This was the reality during the reign of Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus. Now, this wasn't a common occurrence. The Roman Empire was typically governed by a single emperor. But in the 2nd century AD, a unique situation unfolded. Marcus Aurelius, a philosopher king known for his wisdom, shared the throne with Lucius Verus, a man of charisma and charm. Their co-emperorship was a result of the will of their adoptive father, Emperor Antoninus Pius. This unusual arrangement was seen as a radical departure from tradition, raising eyebrows and stirring intrigue among the citizens and the Senate alike. Yet it was a partnership that would endure for nearly a decade, navigating through the turbulent waters of war, disease, and leadership. This was a partnership that would be tested by war, disease, and the heavy burdens of leadership. The path to power for Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus was not typical. Indeed, it was a journey marked by the unexpected. With the death of Antoninus Pius, the throne of the Roman Empire was left vacant. But instead of a solitary figure rising to power, a remarkable event unfolded. For the first time in Roman history, two men ascended the throne together, Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus. This unprecedented co-emperorship was not a capricious decision. Marcus Aurelius, the adopted son and designated heir of Antoninus Pius, was viewed as a man of wisdom and virtue. His brother by adoption, Lucius Verus, was a charismatic figure with a knack for winning people's hearts. Together they presented a balanced leadership, a blend of intellect and charm. Their unique co-emperorship was a testament to the trust and respect between these two leaders. The Roman Empire was about to embark on a new era, shaped by this uncommon duo at its helm. Every reign has its trials, and that of Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus was no exception. The dawn of their co-emperorship was marked by a series of formidable challenges. The first of these was the Parthian War. In the far reaches of the Roman Empire in the eastern provinces, the Parthians were a formidable foe, renowned for their horse archers and heavily armored cavalry. They had long been a thorn in Rome's side, and the early days of Marcus and Lucius's reign saw them rise in rebellion once again. The newly minted co-emperors dispatched their legions eastward to face this threat head-on. The war was brutal, fought over vast tracts of difficult terrain. Yet, despite the odds, the Romans emerged victorious. This victory, however, was not without cost. The returning legions brought back with them more than just the spoils of war. They carried an unseen enemy, a deadly plague. This was the Antonine Plague, a pandemic that would sweep through the empire, decimating populations and causing widespread panic. It was a challenge unlike any other, a silent enemy that couldn't be fought with swords and shields. Marcus and Lucius faced a crisis that threatened the very fabric of Roman society. The co-emperors responded with stoic resolve, implementing measures to manage the crisis, including appointing plague doctors and organizing relief efforts. Yet the plague was relentless. It claimed countless lives, including, tragically, that of Lucius Verus. The death of his co-emperor was a devastating blow to Marcus Aurelius, but it also marked a turning point in his reign. He was now the sole ruler of Rome, left to face the challenges alone. The early years of Marcus and Lucius's reign were fraught with difficulties. They faced war and disease, they experienced loss and despair, but through it all they remained steadfast, guided by their shared vision for Rome and its people. These trials would shape their rule and test their resilience. Marcus Aurelius was not just a philosopher king, he was also a warrior. As he penned his meditations in his tent, the drums of war echoed in the distance. The Marcomannic Wars, named after the Marcomanni, one of the Germanic tribes that Marcus Aurelius fought against, were a series of conflicts that spanned over a decade. In the year 166, the Marcomanni, Quadi, and other Germanic tribes, united in a formidable confederation, breached the northern border of the Roman Empire. Their audacity was met with the full force of Rome under the leadership of Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus. However, the sudden demise of Verus in 169 left Marcus Aurelius to face this challenge alone. Marcus Aurelius was not your typical armchair general. He personally led his legions into the heart of Germania, a land of dense forests and formidable warriors. His strategy was not just about brute force, but also about negotiation and diplomacy. He sought to understand his enemies, to divide their alliances, and to turn them against each other. His military campaigns were a mixture of savage battles and calculated tactics. He utilized the natural landscape, fortifying positions along the Danube River, constructing a network of fortresses and watchtowers to secure the frontier. He implemented a scorched earth policy, destroying crops and resources to starve the enemy, while his legions held the line. Despite the numerous challenges, Marcus Aurelius's leadership shone through. He was known for his resilience and his ability to adapt. When a shortage of soldiers became evident, he made a controversial decision, enlisting slaves and gladiators into his legions. This move was criticized by many, but it demonstrated his pragmatic approach to war. Marcus Aurelius's legacy in the Marcomannic Wars is not just about his victories, but also the lessons he learned and the strategies he implemented. These wars were a crucible, shaping him into a more effective leader and a wiser emperor, leaving an indelible mark on the history of the Roman Empire. His leadership during these wars showcased his strategic brilliance and military prowess. But the leadership of Marcus Aurelius extended beyond the battlefield. His genius was not only in his ability to command armies, but also in his knack for strategy, planning, and administration. As a military leader, he was known for his strategic acumen, able to discern the most effective course of action in the heat of battle. He was not just a figurehead at the helm of the Roman Empire, he was an active participant in its functioning, a hands-on leader who did not shy away from the hard work of governance. Marcus Aurelius was also a pioneer of logistics, understanding the vital role that supply chains play in military success. He made sure his troops were well provisioned and that supply lines were secure. This logistical prowess was not only crucial on the battlefield, but also significantly contributed to the stability of the Roman Empire during his reign. His administrative skills were equally impressive. He demonstrated an ability to manage resources, coordinate efforts, and implement policies effectively. His reign was marked by a careful balance of power and responsibility, a testament to his understanding of the complexities of running an empire. His leadership was not confined to military matters but extended to every aspect of the empire, from its economy to its culture and its relations with neighboring states. Marcus Aurelius was not just a warrior, he was a philosopher, a statesman, a logistician, and an administrator. He was a man of many parts, each contributing to his success as a leader. His ability to understand, adapt, and innovate in various domains set the stage for the prosperity of the Roman Empire under his rule. He understood that leadership is not just about leading troops into battle, but also about guiding a civilization towards progress, stability, and prosperity. His unique blend of military and administrative skills allowed him to navigate the challenges of his time with wisdom and effectiveness. Marcus Aurelius was a true leader both on and off the battlefield. His legacy is not just one of war and conquest, but of wise leadership, thoughtful governance, and a commitment to the betterment of his people. As Marcus Aurelius took the helm of the Roman Empire, he brought with him a unique perspective, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Stoicism, a school of thought that flourished in the Hellenistic era, held steadfast in the belief that virtue is the highest form of good and that we should strive to achieve tranquility, freedom from fear, and a state of moral rectitude. The core principles of Stoic philosophy, particularly those espoused by Epictetus and Seneca, had a profound influence on Marcus Aurelius. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-philosopher, taught that we should focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. His teachings resonated with Aurelius, who, in his role as emperor, often found himself amidst situations beyond his control. Seneca, another significant influence on Aurelius, was a statesman and a philosopher. He extolled the virtues of clear, rational thought and the acceptance of one's fate. He believed in living in harmony with nature's laws and emphasized the importance of ethical behavior. These principles of Stoicism, passed down by Epictetus and Seneca, were deeply embedded in Aurelius's psyche. They guided him in his personal life and defined his leadership style. He adopted a pragmatic approach to governance, grounded in fairness, wisdom, and virtue. Rather than succumbing to the trappings of power, Aurelius remained humble, often reminding himself that wealth and power are fleeting. He viewed adversity not as a hindrance but as an opportunity for growth. He believed in the importance of self-reflection and self-improvement, continually seeking wisdom and understanding. His leadership was marked by a sense of duty, compassion, and a commitment to the common good, principles that echo the teachings of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher king, lived his life guided by principles that emphasized virtue, wisdom, and the acceptance of things beyond our control. His philosophy and leadership style serve as a testament to the enduring wisdom of Stoic philosophy, offering timeless insights into the art of living and leading. In the midst of war, pestilence, and the weight of the empire on his shoulders, Marcus Aurelius sought solace in reflection and writing. This introspective journey gave birth to Meditations, a work of profound philosophical insights and reflections, penned during the most challenging period of his life. Meditations was not a philosophical treatise intended for public consumption. Instead, it was a personal journal, a tool for self-improvement, a canvas on which Marcus Aurelius painted his thoughts and fears, hopes and dreams, virtues and vices. It was written during his military campaigns amidst the turmoil of war, disease, and political strife. Imagine the emperor in his tent under the starlit sky, pouring his thoughts onto parchment, creating a legacy that would survive millennia. Meditations is a mirror into the soul of a man grappling with the impermanence of life, the inevitability of death, and the challenge of virtue. It reflects a man who, despite being one of the most powerful individuals of his time, was acutely aware of his mortality. His reflections on life and death are stark, devoid of romanticism, yet filled with a strange sense of tranquility. "You could leave life right now," he writes, reminding himself and us of our fleeting existence. The work also delves deep into the concept of virtue, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. For Marcus Aurelius, virtue was not just about moral excellence, but also about performing one's duties diligently, irrespective of external circumstances. It was about accepting what life throws at you with grace and equanimity, and always striving to be a better person. Meditations is a testament to the human spirit's resilience, a chronicle of a leader's introspection, a guide to a virtuous life. It is a beacon in the chaos of life, a manual for self-improvement, a roadmap to serenity amidst turmoil. Today, Meditations stands as a timeless testament to a leader's introspection and philosophical insight, a beacon of wisdom in the chaos of life. Marcus Aurelius, a name synonymous with wisdom, virtue, and Stoic philosophy. As we wrap up our journey through the life and works of Marcus Aurelius, let's take a moment to reflect on the key points we've discussed. Born into a time of great turmoil, Marcus Aurelius rose to become one of the most respected Roman emperors. His reign was marked not only by his administrative acumen, but also his deep philosophical insight. A Stoic at heart, Aurelius adopted this philosophy as a guide to life, influencing his actions and decisions in a profound way. The Stoic principles that guided Aurelius were founded on the belief that virtue, understood as the highest form of goodness, is the only true good. His Stoic mindset helped him navigate the many challenges of his life, from personal struggles to the responsibility of leading an empire. The Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on accepting things as they are and focusing on what one can control, was a beacon of guidance for Aurelius. Aurelius's philosophical reflections were not confined to his mind alone. He penned down his thoughts and musings in Meditations, a work that was as much a personal diary as it was a philosophical treatise. Meditations served as a mirror to Aurelius' own life, a testament to his unflinching commitment to virtue and wisdom. It was in this work that he explored the themes of life, leadership, and morality, offering timeless wisdom and insights that continue to resonate with readers today. Marcus Aurelius's enduring legacy lies in his philosophical reflections and the Stoic principles he espoused. His life and work serve as a testament to the timeless relevance of Stoic philosophy, offering guidance and wisdom to all who seek a life of virtue. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, left us with Meditations, a mirror to our own lives, a guide to virtue and wisdom, and a reminder of the impermanence of everything except the pursuit of a life well lived. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, led Rome with wisdom and a sense of duty that still captivates us today. This ruler, who reigned from 161 to 180, was a practitioner of Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasized self-control, duty, and acceptance, principles that were deeply embedded in his leadership style. Aurelius was an ardent believer in the virtue of rational thought. He saw it as the guiding light that could lead one to virtue and away from vice. He believed that we, as rational beings, have the power to control our reactions to external events, and that true peace comes not from changing the world around us, but from mastering our inner selves. His acceptance of the world as it is, instead of how he wished it to be, was another significant aspect of his leadership. He taught that accepting the reality of life, with all its trials and tribulations, was the path to tranquility and contentment. This acceptance, however, was not a passive resignation, but an active engagement with life, where one performs their duties faithfully, without complaint or desire for reward. Marcus Aurelius viewed leadership as a service, not a privilege. He saw himself not as a ruler, but as a servant of the people and the empire. His book, Meditations, a compilation of his personal reflections and philosophical musings, serves as a testament to this belief. Written during his military campaigns, these writings reveal a man deeply committed to his duties, striving to lead with wisdom, justice, and compassion, despite the challenges he faced. In Meditations, he wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." These words encapsulate his belief that our actions, especially as leaders, have far-reaching consequences. He urged leaders to act with integrity, knowing that their actions could impact not only their immediate surroundings, but also the course of history. His leadership was not about power, but about serving the people and the empire he was entrusted with. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, continues to inspire us today with his timeless wisdom and enduring legacy of virtuous leadership. The death of Marcus Aurelius marked the end of an era, but the succession was not as virtuous as his reign. In the spring of 180 AD, the Roman Empire lost its philosopher king. Marcus Aurelius, after ruling for nearly 2 decades, succumbed to an illness during a military campaign in the northern territories. His death was not only a personal loss for the Romans, but also a defining moment for the empire. Aurelius's choice of successor was his son, Commodus. This decision marked a significant departure from his predecessors, who had often adopted their successors based on merit, not bloodline. This marked the end of what historians often refer to as the 5 good emperors, a period of relative peace and stability in the Roman Empire. Commodus, unlike his father, was not a philosopher or a Stoic. He was a ruler who preferred the gladiatorial arena over the Senate and spectacle over statesmanship. His reign was marred by political intrigue, corruption, and a growing disconnect between the emperor and his people. Where Aurelius had been a model of Stoic virtue, his son was a study in excess and self-indulgence. Commodus often engaged in gladiatorial games not just as a spectator but as a participant. He saw himself as a living god, a reincarnation of Hercules, and demanded to be worshipped as such. Aurelius's reign was marked by his commitment to duty, his pursuit of wisdom, and his dedication to the well-being of his people. He led not by force but by example, embodying the Stoic principles he held dear. His Meditations, a series of personal reflections, have become a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, influencing countless generations long after his death. Commodus, on the other hand, left a legacy of decadence and misrule. His 12-year reign was a time of instability and decline, a stark contrast to the principled, Stoic leadership of his father. In the end, the succession of Commodus marked a turning point in Roman history, a shift from the age of the philosopher kings to an era of imperial decline. Commodus's reign was a stark contrast to the principled Stoic leadership of his father, marking a turning point in Roman history. The influence of Marcus Aurelius extends far beyond his reign, with his philosophical writings shaping Western thought. This Roman emperor, known for his wisdom and discipline, left an indelible mark that continues to resonate. At the heart of Aurelius's legacy is his work, Meditations. Penned in the solitude of military camps, this personal diary provides a glimpse into the mind of a philosopher king. It stands as a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, a school of thought that emphasizes rationality, virtue, and emotional resilience in the face of adversity. Aurelius's Meditations is no ordinary leadership manual. It's a rich tapestry of thoughts and reflections, a testament to his unwavering commitment to duty and virtue. His practical wisdom and Stoic principles have been a guiding beacon for countless leaders and thinkers across history. From the battlefields of the Roman Empire to the boardrooms of today, Aurelius's insights on leadership have stood the test of time. His teachings on duty, for instance, have shaped the ethos of many leaders. Aurelius believed in service over self, in fulfilling one's role for the benefit of the whole rather than personal gain. He wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." This idea that our actions have lasting consequences has influenced leaders to act with foresight and responsibility. Aurelius's emphasis on virtue is another key aspect of his legacy. He taught that virtue is the highest good and that it should guide all actions. This principle has found resonance in various leadership philosophies, encouraging leaders to act with integrity and honor. Perhaps the most significant aspect of Aurelius's legacy is his championing of rational thought. He viewed rationality as the defining characteristic of humanity, and he urged the exercise of reason in all aspects of life. This focus on clear, logical thinking has shaped Western philosophical and scientific thought, influencing everyone from Enlightenment thinkers to modern-day decision-makers. But Aurelius's legacy isn't confined to the realm of philosophy and leadership. His enduring reputation as a philosopher king, the last of the 5 good emperors, is a testament to his wise and just rule. Despite the challenges of his reign, including wars, plagues, and internal strife, Aurelius remained a beacon of stability and wisdom. His reign is often seen as the pinnacle of the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace and stability in the Roman Empire. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, the Stoic sage, the wise leader, has left a profound impact on history. His teachings continue to inspire, his wisdom continues to guide, and his legacy continues to shape our understanding of leadership and virtue. Marcus Aurelius stands as a timeless example of wise, principled leadership, his legacy enduring through his writings and the lessons they continue to teach us. His life, his reign, and his meditations serve as reminders that leadership is not just about power, but about duty, virtue, and rational thought. And it is this legacy of Aurelius that keeps his spirit alive, centuries after his reign. Marcus Aurelius's impact is still felt today, his principles resonating in our modern world. His Stoic philosophy, though conceived almost 2,000 years ago, remains strikingly relevant. His teachings on self-control, acceptance and duty have transcended the ages, finding their place in our contemporary society and in the hearts of those who seek wisdom. Consider the virtue of self-control. Aurelius believed that our reactions, not the events themselves, shape our reality. We've seen this principle echoed in psychology and self-help circles today, forming the basis of cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness practices. It's a testament to the timeless value of Aurelius's wisdom, or take his emphasis on acceptance. Marcus Aurelius championed the idea of accepting what we cannot control, a concept that resonates deeply in our fast-paced, unpredictable world. It's a lesson that's been repackaged and retold countless times, from the serenity prayer of the Alcoholics Anonymous to the philosophy of modern Stoicism. And let's not forget about duty. Aurelius's commitment to duty, to serving for the greater good, remains a beacon for leaders today. His dedication to public service and his sense of responsibility towards his people are principles that continue to inspire those in positions of power. His leadership style, marked by humility, wisdom, and a deep sense of duty, is still admired and studied today. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just a Roman emperor. He was a philosopher, a mentor, and a guide whose writings have shaped Western thought. His Meditations, a collection of his personal reflections, remains widely read and admired for its profound wisdom and practical guidance. It's a testament to the enduring power of his ideas and the lasting impact of his reign. But it's not just his writings that have left an indelible mark. His life, his reign, his commitment to Stoic principles, and his unwavering dedication to duty all serve as a timeless lesson in leadership and virtue. The legacy of Marcus Aurelius lives on, his wisdom and principles continuing to guide, inspire, and challenge us. His influence extends beyond the pages of his writings, reaching into the hearts and minds of those willing to learn and grow. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, continues to inspire us, his legacy resonating in our modern world.